So we are playing some Akali. And we're playing it into a set 4 legend here in our Ambessa. This is live gameplay of me playing Akali into Ambessa to showcase the legend. Right here, I've chosen not to mulligan. I intend to play the Twilight Reveler and then be able to develop the Jhin or the Akali the following turn. Irresistible Fae Folk, strong card. If it moves in, is there a real ambush threat? I think we're fine either way. Next turn, develop the Jhin or the Akali. In this case, maybe I should play the Akali. If they pull Akali in, she'll kill the Fae Folk on move. And yeah, I think this is the key weakness of Fae Folk in this deck versus Kha'Zix. You know, Kha'Zix can ambush straight away. This deck needs more development. So we're going to be patient and threaten the Ambessa. And so Ambessa can disempower herself to ready a unit. But in order to empower herself, something needs to be empowered. The champion can empower. And if he goes to 7, then I can't beat these two in a combat. If these two just walk in, a discipline threatens to trade. So it would make a lot of sense to empower here. Which would be fine for us. We can continue to develop next turn. And I think this is where the consideration comes in. Okay. With the Rengar. And this is the nice combo. I don't think it's worth sinking any more resources into though. Just let it go. Because we'd only get up to 5 with the discipline. They've tapped out. I want to punish the tap out, but the only way to punish the tap out is empower, play Jhin, move in, ready, move back, move in. But that's exactly 7 runes. I don't think we will. Because we need the back off to stun. So what we're going to do is this. Use this to and ready Jhin, move this home. Move Jhin into here. And then we'll prepare to hide. Hide the back off. We've got access to Discipline and Defy. And I remember, you know, back in Origins, orange, body was one of the weaker colors. But with the addition of like powerful new cards like Rengar, the body is a good color. And now Rampage, and there's a lot of good stuff. That's fine. Seeing double. And I think as well, you know, with the beginning of these set, this red-green color pairing is quite unknown. So I think we're still experimenting with what it looks like. I think this is, oh, it's an Empower to walk over Jin. There is a threat of repulse, but if they repulse, we have Defy. No, we resolve the stun and now they can't even re-ready. Mask of Farsight would make this a lot better. With Mask, Jin now goes to 5, Discipline makes that a trade. So I think this is a good example of like how powerful Mask can be in the Akali deck. Yeah, and we punish that with the Defy. So our best way to sequence this, I think we need the draw here. So I think actually Jin has to conquer. They know our hand. Takes Jin to 6. We're going to move across to get 1-1. We're going to tap to draw. I mean, the good thing is we're clearly winning the rune game. I wish there was more I could do to defend this Jin, but I think I have to let him go and then redevelop with Kai'Sa next turn. At least both of these draw cards, so we're going to start digging. Realistically, I think there's a world where I empower with Akali now, but the risk of empowering is it means I'm going to deramp. If I deramp, I'm going to go down to 5 runes, which means next turn I go up to 7. With 7 runes, I can't play all 3 cards in my hand. I need 8. So 5 to accelerate Kai'Sa, 2 for discipline, and 1 for the Shuriken flip. The problem we have here is the threat of punch first. So we just can't play into punch first. So we're going to move this in. We're going to use this to ready Kai'Sa. We're going to use Akali to move this home. And then we're going to move the Kai'Sa into here. Conquer, draw from Kai'Sa. And now the game already looks a little bit better. Yes, Ambessa can move out and move back in, but we have enough to threaten. The reality is, I think they'll have something like punch first, but we want to get it out of their hand. We want them burning runes. So in order to punch first and use Ambessa, that's going to be 3 runes recycled to kill this Kai'Sa. And I'm going to start with the discipline. Because I want to cycle through the deck, right? I want to be able to draw to get to my key pieces. And it's the sword, so we can get the sword on board. Take it to 8. Let our opponent burn some more resources. Yep, that's fine. And the good thing here is they can go to 7 next turn. We can go to 6, although that does hurt. Shuriken flip means that we can move this, but trying to get over the 7 is kind of hard. Because right now these make 7. Oh, with the back off, we could do 3, 6, 7, 8 to kill the Ambessa with the back off. So it's quite a big commit. But I think we have to take her off the board. This could empower to maybe ready Gangplank, but I think we have to play on Ambessa. It's a shame we don't have enough runes to play this as well. Play this. Equip. Shuriken flip, and then and get out to take 7. So it's not very clean play, but we're really struggling for units here. And I think this can be one of the challenges with Akali. If you don't hit your key draw pieces, you can get a bit stuck. Kaiser obviously drew us a card, and Discipline's drawn us some cards, but we're not getting to units. So we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 main deck units, and we're almost halfway through the deck. We're playing almost 20, so a little bit of variance there. The good thing is though, if we hit any unit in the deck, we now have access to Shuriken Flip in the discard. So any 4-cost unit plus Shuriken Flip means that we can move to a battlefield. Either of these also die to the Void Gate, so we can do 2 to one of the battlefields and move to the other. That's the hope for next turn. Ideally, that unit is Jin, because then Jin has ganking to threaten go into 8 in the following turn, but we'll just need to see how they play it. So Gutter Ra's really good when combined with empowered units, potentially giving +4 for 2. Foreign is not ideal. Foreign is the only unit in the deck that's too heavy in energy cost to do this play. Most of the units in the deck are 4-cost. If we hit a 4-cost, we play the 4-cost, equip it with this, do 2, move in, and then Falling Star. But here, because they had the extra unit, we'd only be able to kill one thing. There is a play. Doesn't feel very good though. No, there isn't. We need to be able to play all 3. We need a unit. Let me know if I've missed a line. I don't think I missed anything here. I don't think I have enough. For Shuriken Flip, I need a unit. They don't need a unit at Battlefield, but I need something to move. So we take a loss in game one. Quite unfortunate how the cards fell. Akali Silent is quite strong in this matchup because she can't be chosen by like public execution. And Fairy's Fall on it is good, but wasn't what we wanted to see just then. The Longsword is like a new addition to the deck that we're trying, but we're actually going to take it out for this matchup. And we'll try the list as it is. Tiger's Peak. And here it looks a little bit slow, but what's important is protecting our turn 1 play. I think we lose the Shuriken flip, but otherwise this is our turn 1, this is our turn 2, and then we're going to start to take over the game. Yeah, it's most important to protect our turn 1 play. Our turn 2 play, rather. And it is worth mentioning, you know, Targon's Peak might not be the best fit for this particular build. I think Targon's Peak is incredibly powerful in most decks, you know, especially decks that have reaction speed spells. But this particular list is not playing any two drop units. So without any 2 energy units, you know, we're potentially saying our opponent can have this, which is not what we should be doing. So maybe this should be a different battlefield. But throughout the game, we get a lot of value from this because we're reconquering. And we're going to threaten to just walk over the Hawk here. If they use Guttural, I think that's completely fine. We just bail out with the Akali and then use that energy to play Kaiser. Yeah, so mass takes us to 5. I approve this. And this is one of the key strengths for Kali. We can always bail out of a combat that's gone wrong. When combined with Kazakh Jin, now we have more resources. It's given me enough resources to play the Kaiser. I think, though, I'm not sure if I do want to play the Kaiser. I think we're going to play Akali instead. The reason I'm playing Akali here is to try and turn off this. If our opponent pulls in the Akali, then we offer the trade. As this is currently 4, because it gets +1 when empowered. This is 1. When Akali moves in, she'll deal 1 damage, and then Mask of Foresight also gives +1. So that would be not a great play. And once again, you can see we're playing Akali, we're behind on points, but actually we're so much more developed. You know, our board looks so much better. And this is what playing Akali often looks like. You sometimes have to sacrifice some things early, but in that mid game, you're building the resources. And now every turn from here, Jin's going to cheat us out extra cards. Last turn, I could have empowered for the Jin, but I really wanted another unit on the board. Wow, all in on the empower. Speaking of all in on the empower, we're gonna empower because now this is giving us free energy. So we traded 1 power to get all that power back. which gives us an opportunity to play a Kaiser accelerated. Conquer, we draw from Kaiser. We use one of the floated powers to hide it back off. I think at this stage we're going to protect the Kaiser. Yeah, I think we're going to protect the Kaiser. And then we get to ready 2 from Targons. So now we have access to all 3 cards in our hand that are reaction speed. We're making it really hard for them to push into us, honestly. If Ambessa walks in, this plus 1 of the buffs threatens to trade, which just triggers Zonya's, which would be huge. The challenge we have is Fae Folk moving something over to get rid of the back off would be frustrating, but Master takes us to 5. And we will Discipline. This is looking like a Rengar. Vi, interesting. Yeah, that's a big commitment, considering we have Zonya's. So Jhin is stunned, and it will recall home. Fae Folk is annoying because we lose the back off, but it actually trades the Vi off the board, so the Fae Folk really isn't that bad. And remember, every time we move in and out of the combat, Mass gives +1. It gives us +1 and 1 with Jhin and +1. But there's no way we're getting over all of that, which is completely fine. So right now, this is defending 13. Akali could move in, kill this, move back, move in. So she'll attack for 5, which would just trade Vi off board currently. Interesting, first mate. And yeah, and they're thinking about moving the Fae Folk back so Akali doesn't just hit and run. That makes a lot of sense. And the Vi, interesting. Unfortunately for us, we only have 1 mask. If we had multiple masks, this would be a lot easier. Or if we had the Reveler developed already to be able to move the Akali Silent in. But we can't do nothing. We're going to develop the Akali Silent. That part is clear. It becomes a question of whether we want to trade the Akali for the Ambessa. If we empower, she'll become 4, and then move in, move out. Yeah, she has to get empowered, I think. So she pays 2 and a red to empower. This gives Akali +1. She moves in combat. Mask takes it to 5. Akali brings her home. She moves in. Mass takes it to 6 and on guard to take her to 8. And then we'll score. Maybe we develop the Reveler to catch them off guard with the Akali. But it's hard here because our Kai'Sa is a sitting duck if we leave it here. If Vi walks in, she'll just die. We don't want to get hit by public execution, but we do have access to the Defy, so I think we really want the surprise factor here. No, we might have to establish board presence. I'm not sure. It's a little bit challenging. I think we'll play the Reveler. So Akali comes back down to 4. So Vi threatens to just walk over with his stun ability. And then we worry about Fey Folk moving us across. We wouldn't want to see that, but... And there's the risk here of Fey Folk choosing the Twilight Reveler. But again, because of the point score, I think it's okay. Our ideal situation would be that they walk just Vi into the battlefield, into Kai'Sa, and then we can stun. And then they're going to have to start trading things, but I don't think that's very likely. Oh, I don't think they like that. They forgot that we have Mask on board. So they took that back. Which is what makes this a little bit better for us, honestly. The fact that they can't just walk one unit in to get over. So the move triggers resolve first. So it is a good workaround. Stun the Kai'Sa. And we can only trade the Fey Folk off the board here. That said, they don't kill both either. And another Vi Peacekeeper comes down. So this is where playing the Akali Silent might come in really clutch. This defends for 11. And she's going to start attacking for a lot. Play Akali. Move, ready, go to 4. We're going to tap Akali to move her home. We'll attempt Falling Star on one of the Vi's twice. Akali moves in. She's going to go to 7. So punch first would really hurt here. Nice, no punch. And then the Reveler moves in, goes to 5. Ready Akali. We seem to be in a really strong spot here. It's whether to move her home or not is the question. I think she moves home so she doesn't just die to a Rengar. And then we have her for next turn. And again, this is the challenge with the Akali, trying to withstand the defense. We have the Stellarcorn, but we've not had opportunity to develop her because we've just been overwhelmed. And the sooner you develop the Stellarcorn, the more advantage you get, the more cards you get in hand to play. So I think this is such a key piece to the deck. I think without this card, the deck loses a lot. It's just so key, right? When you're playing green, digging for more green cards, digging for more good red cards as well, like Falling Star. The concern here is if this is Rengar. No. So we're not too worried right now because this represents 4, 6, 9 might. And our Akali's going to be able to get over that. So every time she moves to the battlefield, she gets +2. And I think we're going to try to exploit that. So she'll move in. She will get 2 for her ability. And then Mask will... Oh! Our opponents realize that we're going to walk over the battlefield and that's going to be the game. So awesome. We get to go to game 3. And our challenge was our opponent building backline. So maybe we tried the Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is a completely new addition to the deck. I've not tried it. This is going to be the game to try it. I think the red and green color combination is so new that it's so underexplored, and so we want to really explore it and see what's good. So let's give it a shot. And if you have any cool Akali decks, if you have any cool ideas, any cool brews, let me know down below. It'd be really cool to see what you think is good in Akali. Notably, as the title of the video shows, this Akali deck has no 2 energy cost units. So the reason that we're trying this is to maximize the advantage from the powerful 4 cost units. I think we take a risk knowing that we can play Akali turn 1. We have like 3 cards that are really good in this matchup. So again, we know that they probably can't just pull us in. We've seen this multiple times now. But I think the safest play ends up being to develop the Akali. The difference is Reveler maybe lets us score both, but this just completely turns this off. If our opponent pre-buffs, it means that they're spending 2 to then trade, which is not good. It looks like we're going to see the Ambessa developed again. I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think we've just found the punish. And that's the risk of not empowering the Ambessa. And speaking of risks, I think we're going to take one by getting an early point in. We risk dying to Rengar. But again, Rengar's like a full turn of development, and then we can try and walk in next turn. Just a Kale. Ambessa needs to develop again. And empower the Kale. Empower Ambessa, and looks like we're going aggressive. So I will get 1 energy. And I will end Showdown. If this walks into this battlefield again with Threshold, we now have 2. 2 energy. And we're going to play cleave for the clean trade. So I think our opponent forgot that the battlefield gives energy, and this is where it's really good. I mean, it's part of a combo with Twilight Reveler, but it's also really useful for moments like this. The whole board trades. We love to see it. Ah, Foreigner. Why why is he always coming at the wrong time? Incredible card in the game, incredible card in this matchup, but not incredible when you have 5 runes. Because of the Fallen Star, but it's still worth it. We can develop the Foreigner and move him if needed. But if not, the Foreigner is just such a great unit, puts on so much pressure. Another Kale. And I think this style of play benefits Akali. I think Akali can struggle with like loads of units on the board, but dealing with one unit ends up being a lot easier. Oh, we're going straight in. I would love to take the risk of walking Foreigner in with the Shuriken flip, but it's too much of a gamble. We would give them +1, they could play Gut Raw, and then we'd lose the Foreigner. I don't think we need to force it, so we're going to take a turn to develop, which is something Akali does a lot. I think Akali needs a lot of turns to develop. And this battlefield's really, really interesting. I think it might become problematic. Akali can take advantage of it using the Twilight Reveler to re-ready and gain a lot of energy and play a lot of cards from your hand. Not instant win the game in any meaningful way, but another Kale and power. She's getting big. And I think this is a matchup you're likely to see. I think both of these decks are probably likely to be decks that make top 64 at events. So you will see these kind of matchups. I think Ambessa is the premium order and body deck. We've seen Set, we've seen Fiora, and I think she's better than those two. Huge Kale. And notably has Deflect 3. So this then becomes problematic for us, where we struggle to find an opportunity to target the Kale. Although that is fine. We lose no might, effectively. And punishing this Kale would be huge. I think we now have to... I think we now have to give it a go. No, she comes home, but we can double conquer, which gives us an opportunity to draw. So we'll score with our first mech. We'll score with our second mech. Entering our opponent's seat of power. And I think we're going to just be really patient here and let these mechs potentially die to then try and deal with the Kale next turn. So Kale has Deflect and Gankin, as she's been empowered 3 times. Akali can't defend against that. It doesn't happen. So instead we want to attack, utilizing the Akali Silent, utilizing our buff spells, utilizing back off if needed. And we get an extra energy. So the play for Ambessa here looks like it's probably to play something, empower it, gank across. It keeps ahead on points, it keeps my units off the board, but I think this Kale's probably going to be overwhelming anyway. Getting over 9 is a lot. So if Akali moves in, she'll become 6. We can move her back, move it in again, she'll become 8. Discipline will take her to 10. But all it then takes is one combat trick for Kale to get over the Akali, so it's hard for us to get ahead on points now. Yeah, here we go. And they've used the additional 1 to empower this. This now moves over here. Wins the combat. It's going to draw a card. Mask of Foresight would be really huge. So we want to bait interaction here so that we can try and kill the Kale. That's the important part. So we can get them to use things now. Move, we'll draw from Stella. And then we will back off. Target in this to try and win a combat here. Draw a card in the process. Ooh, Nidalee. And we have 1 float in. Oh, this just got interesting. I think we have to let this go and then rely on this Akali Silent to do all the hard work with these cards here. Which feels not in the nature of the deck, but... so Punch first would take this to 9. We can get over 9 with what's in hand. So we're just going to pass focus here. Score. We'll play Sonya's using the floated ones we got from these 2 combats. We'll then try and move Akali to here. Not doing any damage. So she'll move. She'll then get +2 to get to 8. And we will try Ongar to 10. I know this is almost certainly going to be met with some other spells, but we have to get it out of their hand. Yes, the salvage is approved. And nice, you're in the combat. They were trying to dig. That's incredible. This puts us in a really strong spot, to be honest. We have to withhold them winning the game this turn, but I think it's really hard for them to do so. I suppose the risk is if they play maybe Gangplank. Yeah, if they were to play Gangplank, Empower, and walk over here, walk this into here, we would lose the game. So we're going to hold 2 up for a Discipline. We have to be ready. We have to be ready for Ambessa to accelerate something and just walk 2 units in. And I think this is where Ambessa gets really good, you know, on these turns where you're on 6 points and you can throw some units in. Even Kale, being able to empower Kale, so they can play 3 for Kale, 3 to empower Kale. Use Ambessa to ready, and then Kale's 5 into my Akali, which is 4. So I need the extra might. And then in my following turn, Kaiser's going to move to battlefield. But I think it's a hard position for me here. I think, well, you know, when you're behind, it's always hard, and trying to hold on Akali is incredibly hard. This might be it. If they have the guttural strength, this unit can now attack me for 7. There's a world where I play the Kaiser instead of the Discipline. Here it is. So we're going to respond with Discipline to try and draw an out. Draw. We did draw the out. So this goes to 6, and then we're going to defy. Incredible, incredible top deck. The problem is surviving the onslaught again next turn. Because we have to do the same all over again. And this time with 2 units on the board. So we go straight for the Kaiser. Accelerate the Kaiser. Move in. We need to draw some more cards. That's not quite what we want. I think we then... Do we have to just tap out and just hope? Hide a card to make it look more scary. And pass turn. So our opponent has to take both battlefields here. Notably as well, Akali can only be chosen in combat. So really they have to be able to take this one in combat at least. And GG's called. So that's how to play Akali. You can see some of the weaknesses of Akali. You can also see the importance of timing things correctly. So the way that I moved the Akali Silent around, the way that I let my Stellarchon die, you know, in order to try and get maximum value. Akali's a really fun deck. She's got a lot of movement tricks. The red and green color combo is incredibly fun. How good is Akali? I guess we'll find out. But being able to beat Ambessa is a really good place to start. Thank you for watching this gameplay video. I'll have more gameplay videos coming in the future, including some gameplay against some of the strong players. Thank you. Take care.